today we welcome amazing speakers and panelists from a range of sectors. And today we'll continue to have insightful talks and panel discussions, starting from our keynote speaker today. We'll now welcome our opening keynote speaker, Mei Wai Wong. And Mei Wai is the founder, CEO, and the chief change catalyst of APAC Global Advisory, a change management consultancy firm that was recently awarded the top 10 in the industry in the APAC region. She previously held leadership positions in the big names such as Unilever, Citibank, and Heineken, where she led significant global and operational themes. Having worked with organizations to deliver sustainable change through change management, she regularly chairs and speaks at global forums on change, business, as well as branding. So I will now hand the time over to Wong Mei Wai for our opening keynote.
Thank you very much, Gizem. Hello, everybody. Good morning. It is my honor to join you from Singapore for the London School of Economics Women in Business Conference 2020. What a pleasure to be with all of you young, intelligent, ambitious ladies from LSE. If this was any other year, you would likely, at some point, be going to be adapting to one of the main changes of your life, which is the transition from a relatively safe space in the university to the working world at some point. But as we know, this is not any other year, and with probably the largest global change happening with the pandemic, this means you will be coping likely at the point of your graduation with at least 2 major changes coming up. Hence, having helped and supported many organizations and individuals get through successful change, today I thought what I would do would be to reimagine myself in your position and share the issues I would consider to adapt successfully to such times of change. So to start off with, I believe that at this point, I would then be feeling rather anxious as I'm hearing the news globally on corporate world restructurings, going through digital transformation impacting roles, rescinding of contracts, reduced hirings, and looking forward to go to work at some point. The work from home may not exactly fit me because as a young graduate, I would want to come out, socialize as well with my colleagues, and have mentors in the office. Hence, what would I do? So these are the 4 advice I thought about, which I thought I would like to share with you at the opening today of the conference, which I hope you'll find useful. Firstly, continue to have your vision or your dreams of what you want to be, but review the path and be flexible on how you get there or when you get there. The truth of the matter is there is no hard and fast rule to get to a place that is really right for you. When I came out of university, I didn't start out wanting to be a consultant or to own my own business. My dream at that time was simply to be in brand management in Unilever. I applied 3 times and I had to do 12 interviews by all the functions, all the way to the chairman in Singapore. And finally, I got myself started as an assistant brand manager and then moving to Hong Kong. However, what happened over the course of the next 20 years, I found myself always on projects to turn around sick brands and businesses, reposition them, start new innovation and businesses. And gradually, I just did what I love. And doing because you love that, you do it well. And then gradually, when I came to a point where I could start my own company to continue to help build legacy through change, I realized I landed up being a consultant to be able to go out there and help more companies than just remaining on the client side and working in the operations of the global team. Therefore, as I explained to you that there's no hard and fast rule, I did not personally take a traditional approach to getting to a place that I feel is right for me, but rather just put one step forward at each point. And therefore, my advice to you is keep on dreaming and have that vision in mind, but be flexible about the time and the moment. And when you find that you have a strength in something you do, build on that strength, because that's going to make you unique. And when you leverage that, that will make you special. And you will define a very unique brand for yourself. However, do be careful, as you must constantly scan your environment and industry at each point in time and understand where the industry you intend to be in or the job you intend to be is changing with the trends, as you would have heard yesterday on digitalization. So my second advice to you would be to be courageous and have grit. In organizational change, we call this resilience. In change, business leaders who I've noticed have succeeded to adapt to change are those who are courageous. Similarly, courage is something that I would advise you to nurture in times of uncertainty, like now. Because uncertainty can be really scary. But believe in yourself, even if you have many detractors. What do I mean by detractors? They are people, and they might be people who love you too, but they may directly or indirectly put doubt in your mind when you independently want to make a change. That is different from the direction they believe is the norm or the route that they would like you to move towards. Let me give you an example. The interesting thing I learned was I somehow ended up working in a 99% male-dominated industry at that time in the brewery. When I first joined the brewery, Asia Pacific Brewery, and then Heineken Brewery, I was the first female Tiger Beer brand champion globally, the first woman with kids to be sent to lead some commercial operations in Vietnam, Heineken's second largest market globally then. My colleagues and friends looked at me and they literally thought I was crazy. So I have been called ambitious, selfish even, because I should be at home looking after the kids, but not in the marketplace. But believe in yourself and ideas and have aligned support at home or around you to make that change. And sometimes it's interesting for me as well. The more your friends tell you that you are crazy because you're doing something different, it might be that exact move that actually differentiates yourself in a courageous way. And eventually, you might end up building your own pool of unique capabilities that differentiates your brand. Hence, stay courageous with grit. My third advice to you is to believe that you can be the instrument of change and a force for good. One of the things I learned is before we can make any change, we have to change ourselves. And did you know that that rings through for every CEO and leader who wants to make a change in their organizations too. They have to change themselves to be able to successfully achieve change. So even reflecting in myself, I had to be able to make change. And if I didn't change myself or train myself to be the instrument of change, and what is an instrument of change? Imagine a tuning fork to be in tune with your environment through seeing, hearing, observing the change all around you, your countries, the political situation, the healthcare sectors, the sectors you intend to move into, and build your own opinion and hypothesis on what is happening. And also, as a tuning fork, be always in tune and wholeheartedly aware of the change that your family and friends around you may have to go through, and be empathetic about that. By being an instrument of change, you can actually step forward and make that change rather than to wait for any change to take place. And from here, just to share with you one of my business school's philosophy that I've subscribed to all these years, I'm a believer that business can be a force for good to help people and the world. Even if you see businesses focusing very much on profitability, the key thing is to look deeper, look into what they're doing for the world, sustainability. Of course, ensure their values are all aligned and they are supporting all the social cause that you believe in. Hence, like organizations, can you and your generation consider how you can also step forward as individuals on a side hustle as well, and in your careers in future or even now, and be a force for good in whatever choices you make. Whether you choose to go into banking, a consultancy, law, technology, etc. I personally built my business purpose with the intention to build legacy through change for family businesses. And I think one of the reasons why I have passion speaking to the next generation as well is you are, in fact, the legacy. And all of you will be the future leaders of the world. Therefore, and I encourage you to believe in yourself and to be an instrument for change in the world, to make it a better place through whatever business or profession which you will choose. To do so, you might also find inspirational what we had found in our research across CEOs, whether men and women, three common areas why they are successful. So in these successful CEOs, the first thing is tenacity and the grit I spoke to you about. To be able to learn and to be able to fail fast and learn again, and then fail again and learn again and stay through the course. Okay, so fail fast, learn quickly, and stay through the course. Secondly, what sets them apart as successful leaders is connectivity. So such forums are wonderful that you're having today. Connectivity does not mean having contacts or numbers in your social media. It means deep connections you can build, true connections that you can build with global friends or people that you can help. And thirdly, very often, if you observe, many of the senior leaders are, in general, very good people. They have good heart. Yes, you will see those that are in it for the money or fame or glamour. But if you watch carefully, the ones that stay on, that may not be so obvious to you, you will notice that they, in fact, have a very genuine good heart. So I will now move to my fourth and last advice for you, which is never stop learning, especially everything digital. So never stop learning. The most adaptable organizations and leaders during this period, especially during the pandemic, are those that are not stopping to learn. The learning mindset, enthusiasm, the sharing, it's humbling for some very senior people to actually say, I don't know, I have to learn, I have to change. It sounds elementary, but it's really not so easy. It involves openness in the mindset, day to day, continuous belief that learning is a continuous journey. So I hope that even after university, you will champion learning for life. I can share with you my personal experience that up to a couple of months back, my own mother is bewildered till today on why is Mei Wai doing a third master when she has so many roles to juggle. But irregardless of whether it's a master, a PhD, it doesn't need to be from a prestigious university. It could be an online course that you found. I actually see knowledge and lifelong learning as something which is necessary for change. It's a spark for you to open your minds. By opening your minds and taking in the new knowledge, you will be able to be exposed to take new steps in your life. So the data and the research we have found is that during this pandemic, this area has grown astronomically, not just in organization, individuals, and even especially in the Gen Z as well. Okay, hence don't treat education as an end after you finish your university. Please treat it as a lifelong learning, and you will have the answer to being very adaptable with change, because it will open your minds. Just to share with you, for instance, what I meant when I said each step and gaining the knowledge to just give you a push so that you can move in your career. My master's in international marketing, for example, helped me move from a local to a global marketeer. My executive master's in business administration helped me to move from a senior manager to a marketing and business director. My advanced management program in INSEAD helped me to move from business director to a CEO. And then finally, when I set up my own company, I realized that there was still a need, and I pursued my executive master's in consulting and coaching for change, because what I had been studying were hard stuff like business, marketing, supply chain, etc. But what is needed in this world are the softer stuff, the unique capability and psychodynamic to help people go through change. And that then allows you to then have the knowledge to differentiate versus other consulting companies. So this is something I would like to share with you, and I hope you can continue to monitor that part. You would have also seen the digital discussion yesterday. As you may have heard, 2020, due to the pandemic, organizations have been forced to review and remap the customer experience journey and strategic approaches by providing greater value add at each touch point of the customer experience, and through changing the engagement across all channels, simplifying business processes, and redesigning products and services. So this acceleration of digital transformation is really real and will be impacting anything that you choose to pursue and across all industries. So in closing today, I wanted to share that I felt that the theme that the organizing committee had, Limitless, is particularly meaningful. Because when you actually look at change and challenges, you are actually looking at a platform of opportunities which are limitless, in fact, for you. Also, the traditional rule book may not apply while taking forward your plans, and the steps may need to be reworked. But that does not mean your dream and your visions need to change. They may just need to be adapted. So push your boundary, your creativity, and reflect. I hope you would have found useful on the 5 pieces of advice or 4 pieces of advice I've shared with you today. Firstly, continue to have your vision on your dreams, but review the path and be flexible on how you get there or when you get there. Secondly, be courageous and have grit. Thirdly, believe that you can be the instrument of change for the world and be that force for good. And fourthly, probably most importantly, never stop learning, especially everything digital. And I wish you success in your conference today. Thank you so much. Enjoy the journey and path, and you never know, you will stumble on what you will stumble on with this new change mindset you have. Thank you.
So thank you, Mei Wai, for opening the conference with such an inspiring sharing. And thank you for taking time to join us today.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
So our next program will be the Women in Technology panel. We'll now take a minute or two to bring our panelists onto the screen. So thank you for all your patience.